obviously I'm excited about it. Quite frankly, it came together in a very short period of time here. Had a brief conversation with Homer at the draft there, and since then it's just kind of steamrolled towards the resolution that happened today. It's obviously a little bittersweet for me. I had a great time in LA. We were obviously that's the pinnacle for all of us. In this decision, I'm sure you guys are going to ask me what it was all about, and I don't have anything earth-shattering other than to say that it was a gut feeling, and that's what I went with.
When you say gut feeling, can you kind of expand on that?
Honestly, it's there are a few things that happened over the years that, certain general managers' jobs getting filled, and there's just certain things that have happened that have affected me. My family's out east. Obviously, I have ties with the Flyers, so there's a bunch of little things that kind of tied into the whole process that I went through here to make this decision. But in the end, again, I'm following my gut here to what I think is the right move. And again, I really don't have a whole lot more substance than that.
John Hoban, was there anything that changed in the relationship with Dean Lombardi over the last couple of months that maybe led you in this direction?
Absolutely not. I have a good relationship with Dean. Nothing has changed there. And again, came here 7 years, and I will say this, when I think everybody knows how strong my ties are in Philadelphia. But when I came to LA, I came here all in. I wasn't looking over my shoulder, looking to go back to Philadelphia, and I was here and I was all in, and I worked hard and I enjoyed my time in LA. So I wasn't one of these things where any back to Philadelphia. John Marks. So again, nothing is apart. I mean, one of the things that happened is, quite frankly, they won the Stanley Cup. I mean, I came out here with a vision to build a team and help play a part in helping to try to build a Stanley Cup winner, and that was again part of my decision. So again, there's a lot of little things, but there's not one really big thing I can point to. And absolutely, my relationship with Dean is as strong as it was when I came here.
Ron, I know you say you were all in there in LA, but was returning to Philadelphia something that maybe you had hoped to do at some point in the future? Was it ever really in the back of your mind in that way?
That's a hard question to answer. I think I obviously have definite ties with the Flyers, but the hardest decision I ever made in my life was a little over 7 years ago to leave Philadelphia to pursue a stepping stone that I felt like would give me the best chance possible to be a general manager, and that is my goal, and it has been since I stepped off the ice. So when I left Philadelphia, I made a conscious decision that I was leaving an organization that I had deep roots with to pursue a dream that I had, and that was to be a general manager. And so I say, like right now, we obviously built a very good team out here in LA, and I'm proud of what we've done. But I just, there's something telling me this is the right move, and I'm going with it. I'm not looking back, and as I said, I enjoyed my time out here.
Do you? I know it's an assistant general manager job you're taking in Philadelphia versus the one you left in LA, but do you feel like this is a step toward being a general manager in the NHL?
I have absolutely. I have no answer for your question. I think every general manager at some point is going to step down, whether it's Paul Holmgren or Dean Lombardi or any of the other 28 guys in the league. And it's just my gut. I'm going with my gut, and I'm going to look back in 2 or 3 or 5 years and figure out whether it's the right decision or not. But I feel strongly about it right now, and that's. And again, it was not an easy decision. It was a quick decision. It was a matter of 2 weeks. But I gave it a lot of thought, and quite frankly, 24. I am a very analytical guy. I analyzed this all around and came back to my gut, and that's what I went with.
Well, you said you've had the evacuations ever since you gave up your playing career. What kind of put that in your mind, whether it was 1999 or before that this is ultimately general manager is something you wanted to become?
I think my playing days, just kind of watching the way Bobby Clarke operated, I admired the man so much for his hockey career, albeit I didn't like him when I was growing up. And I saw something there with myself. Something, it's no different than when I was 2 years old and I used to throw a sock up the stairs and stop it. For whatever reason, I knew I wanted to be a goalie, and it was the same with, trying to pursue being in hockey management with the ultimate goal of being a general manager. And quite frankly, to this day, I still don't know if that's going to happen. It's no different when you're playing in the minors and you're striving to play in the NHL, and you're just dreaming and pushing hard every day to make that dream come true, but it doesn't come true for everybody. So this one may or may not come true at some point, but I'm not sure that I put myself in a better position, because essentially I'm in the same position as I was. But again, there's something dragging me here that I just felt like at this time it was the right move. I mean, Dean told me when I left Philadelphia, he said that if you want to make a lateral move, you can make one, and that's back to Philly. And I've been here for 7 years, and I believe there probably was opportunities in the past where I could have taken advantage of that, and I didn't. Again, I'm not saying there was. I'm saying there was a window there where the whole time he said, if you want to go back there as an assistant, you can.
You see this organization now, and because I know the Kings didn't play the Flyers last year, how much are you familiar with the current way the team is constructed, and what do you see it looking at as a different vantage point?
I really haven't had time to look at it. I know Homer's put a lot of good young players in place there. Obviously, you look at their center ice, but I really haven't taken a good enough look to see their team. But like I said, I know they got some real good young pieces in place. Obviously, we have Wayne Simmons and Braden Shannon. They're both very good young players. So I think there's a lot of good pieces in place. But again, I got some work to do to get to know the current roster as well as the whole depth chart.
Do you see this move as a lateral move, or do you see it as something more than that?
No, I think it's a lateral move. There's I don't think you can argue it's more than that. It's basically, essentially, I see it probably being a very similar job responsibility that I had here in LA. So I think it's a lateral move, and that's why a good question to ask is why, if it's a lateral move, why are you going? And like I said, I'm just going with my gut on this one. I've had a lot of emotions the last day and a half since I told Dean, and it's been a tough one. Whenever you're going somewhere, you're also leaving somewhere. I met a lot of great people here, and I had a great time. And in saying that, I'm going back to Philly, a place that I'm familiar with, colors I'm familiar with, and I'm looking forward to that as well. But I'll miss a lot of the people out here.
Paul said when he talked with us a little bit ago that you're probably the most highly thought of guy who's not a general manager. Do you ever see yourself filling that role with this team? I mean, obviously he still has that position, but is that something that you must have thought about at some point in your decision-making process?
I have absolutely no idea. If that were to work out at some point when Homer's had enough, that's great. But, that can happen again in 29 other places as well. And, I do want to be a general manager, and I talked to Homer about that when we were talking about this job. If something else comes available, I at least want to look at it. And he was absolutely fine with that. So my goal still hasn't changed in terms of, where I want this to all end. But if it was there, great. And if I could look elsewhere, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't like to look at the future. I'm looking forward to going back and doing my little part to help the Philadelphia Flyers be successful and hopefully bring a Stanley Cup to Philly.